Hey guys, this is Shukesh once again. Today I will be doing a very important speed test in between the all new OnePlus 7 Pro on my left and the iPhone XS Max on my right. With the price of the iPhone here, you can buy two OnePlus 7 Pros. This video can be touted as Android versus iOS since I have the fastest Android phone on my left and also the Apple flagship on my right. I want to quickly show you that all the settings on the OnePlus is the default settings and the version of OnePlus here is 8GB RAM with 256GB of storage. I have also updated the phone to the latest firmware, that is with OxygenOS 9.5.3. On the other hand, the XS Max is also updated to iOS 12.3. I have disabled some smart features on both these phones, and these two phones represents the best of Android and iOS. So let's get started with the speed test. I want to start with the face unlock feature. It was damn fast on OnePlus devices, but with the introduction of the pop-up camera, which takes about 0.53 seconds to pop, it's not as fast as before. Now it's hard to tell which device actually unlocked quicker, so what I will do is I will swipe on the screen of iPhone XS Max first, then check which device takes you to the home screen first, and looks like they are very close thanks to almost no animation of the OxygenOS. The OnePlus 7 Pro seems faster, and since in the speed test I measure the real life speed of the phones, I will give the point to the OnePlus 7 Pro. So despite having all this mechanism, the face unlock feature of the OnePlus is perfectly usable in day-to-day life, though it's not as secure as Face ID, which basically 3D maps your face and is very hard to forge. Next, let's clear the background apps and I will do a boot test first. Though it seems like iPhone turned off faster, the shutdown process might be going on in the background, so we cannot tell for sure. Now let's turn on the phones. There you go, OnePlus turns on faster, so this is the winner of the boot test. Now first I will try some system as well as third-party apps, followed by some hardcore games. There you go, on the dialer I think OnePlus was momentarily faster thanks to the faster animation on the messaging app as well. OnePlus wins by 1 or 2 milliseconds I think. Next we have the proprietary gallery apps, and this time iPhone XS Max is the winner since there were few photos still loading on the OnePlus. We need to redo the camera test handheld, so let's check the rear camera and Apple wins easily. There is no doubt it's the faster camera. Let me try the front camera as well. Interestingly, OnePlus 7 Pro was actually quicker, so the pop-up camera doesn't definitely slow down the new OnePlus flagship. Now what about the front camera launch time? And this time the Apple XS Max is actually faster. So switching off the camera is faster on the OnePlus, but as far as camera launch time is concerned, there is no match for the XS Max. The score right now is OnePlus 4, Apple 2, and on the Chrome browser there is another win for OnePlus. Next there is YouTube, and once again OnePlus is the winner. Now let me try some third-party apps. There I have Ola and Uber, so the Ola application is faster on the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's much slower on the XS Max. Next we have Uber, and once again it's really fast on the OnePlus. Next I have some shopping apps. There is Flipkart, and once again it's much quicker on the 7 Pro. Let me check the Amazon app as well, and as usual I think, well, this time actually the XS Max completed the loading before the 7 Pro, so I will give the point to the iPhone. Facebook is definitely much faster on the OnePlus. Next we have got Twitter, and this new OnePlus flagship is just unstoppable. It's too damn fast. There is almost no delay, no loading. Spotify also is much quicker on the new OnePlus 7 Pro. Let me tell you the score right now. iPhone is at 3 and OnePlus is at 12. There you have Instagram and the phone is consistently fast. Next, there are some Photoshop apps I wanna try. This is Photoshop Express, and once again we have the winner, which is OnePlus 7 Pro. This is Photoshop Mix. OnePlus did a fantastic job here. I mean, I am doing speed test versus iPhone since OnePlus 3 and I have never seen a OnePlus smartphone beating the shit out of an Apple flagship. It's beautiful, though on this Photoshop fix, the XS Max managed to win by few milliseconds. There is Photoshop Lightroom as well, and as usual another win for OnePlus. So Android has come this far. It's now significantly faster than iOS in terms of graphical interface. So kudos to OnePlus for achieving such a milestone. For this app, Photoshop Sketch, I think it's a draw, so the point goes to both the phones. The final score is iPhone XS Max 5 and OnePlus 7 Pro is at 17. So the Apple flagship is not even close. Now it's time for the gameplay, which is the strongest department of Apple graphics. Let's launch these 8 games. I will start with PUBG Mobile. This is a very crucial moment for the OnePlus because there is hardly any other phone that can beat an iPhone in terms of game loading time. Well, looks like OnePlus is still not there in the gaming department. Though it was fast enough, it's not as fast as the Apple flagship. It's still the king of 3D gaming graphics, so the point goes to the iPhone XS Max. Next we have Asphalt 9. Well, OnePlus got its revenge. It's the quicker one, so let's not lose our hopes right now. I'm gonna launch the next game, which is Brothers in Arms 3, and let's see what happens. As you can see, the Apple device is way faster. You have got UFS 3.0 storage on the new OnePlus flagship and also RAM boost for faster game loading, yet the Apple device is giving this phone a hard time. Let me try a few more games before I conclude. This is 6 Guns. The iPhone is well ready and OnePlus is still loading. The next game I have for you today is Subway Surfers. As you can see, OnePlus 7 Pro actually loaded the game before the iPhone XS Max. The score right now is XS Max 3 and OnePlus 2. This is Pokemon Go. The new OnePlus wins once again, so the score is now equal 3-3. Next, Temple Run 2. Another win for the new 7 Pro. Lastly, we have Minion Rush, and if Apple could beat OnePlus, then the score will be equal, but I think OnePlus is momentarily quicker, so the final score is OnePlus 5 and iPhone XS Max 3. In the gaming test, OnePlus wins, though in hardcore games, the new 7 Pro could not outperform the XS Max. So overall, in this speed test, we can surely say the new OnePlus 7 Pro beats the iPhone XS Max black and blue. So it's probably the fastest or the snappiest phone in the world right now. Even the Apple flagship is not a match for this phone. Now it's time for the RAM management check, and as you know, the RAM management of OnePlus devices are not up to the mark. I mean, to optimize the battery performance, OnePlus basically restricts the RAM usage. With 6GB of RAM, OnePlus 60 could not compete with similar devices like Galaxy S10 Plus or Note 9 or this iPhone XS Max. Now I've got the 8GB RAM variant, and as you can see, the gallery apps are still there in the memory. There is no issue relaunching this application. Let me try YouTube. And there you go, the application is reloading on the iPhone and it's still on the RAM of the new OnePlus. As you know, XS Max packs 4GB of RAM, but the RAM management or the multitasking of iOS is top class. But this new OnePlus flagship managed to get better multitasking capability than this Apple flagship. There are currently 30 apps and hardcore games are running in the background, but still the new 7 Pro is fast as before and it's facing no issues reloading these apps and games. With half the RAM, the XS Max is also doing pretty well. Let me try few more apps before I relaunch the games. This is Photoshop Lightroom, which reloaded on the XS Max, and there you have Photoshop Sketch, again reloading on the iPhone. Now it's time for the games. In the apps, definitely OnePlus 7 Pro is the winner. Now this is PUBG Mobile and no issues on both the phones. It's a big game still with 4GB of RAM. XS Max had no problem at all. Next there is Asphalt 9 and looks like it's reloading on both iPhone XS Max and the OnePlus 7 Pro. Let me check few more games before we conclude. That's Subway Surfers. No issues at all. Well, 6 Guns is still there on the 7 Pro, whereas it's reloading on the iPhone XS Max. Obviously, it's not fair to compare an 8GB RAM device with a 4GB RAM phone, but it's iPhone and iOS offers excellent multitasking capability. You need 8GB RAM for an Android phone to be as good or a better phone. I don't have the 6GB RAM variant, but I believe it might not be as good as the 4GB RAM iPhone XS Max. We are at the end of this speed test, and overall this new OnePlus 7 Pro is the best. There is no compromise on speed, on performance. For just 4,000 rupees extra, I think you should definitely go for this 8GB RAM variant of 7 Pro with 256GB of storage. The next iPhone is on the way. It will be very interesting to compare that with this 7 Pro. So keep in touch with this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you have found this video interesting and useful.